Have you ever heard of a war won not by swords, but by a wooden horse? This isn't just a myth. It's a masterclass in strategy, a story of how a 10-year stalemate was shattered by a single, brilliant, and devastating idea. Welcome to the final, fatal days of the legendary city of Troy. For a decade, the greatest warriors of Greece had thrown themselves against the mighty walls of Troy. Heroes like Achilles and Hector clashed in epic duels, their names echoing through eternity. But even with Achilles' godlike strength, the city stood defiant. The Greeks were exhausted, their resources dwindling, their morale at an all-time low. It seemed Troy was truly invincible. Brute force had failed. It was time for a different kind of weapon, the mind. Enter Odysseus, the king of Ithaca. He wasn't the strongest or the fastest, but his mind was a labyrinth of cunning and guile. He watched the unbreakable walls and realized they didn't need to be broken. They needed to be opened from the inside. His proposal was audacious, almost insane. "Let's build a gift," he said. Not just any gift, but a colossal wooden horse, an offering to the goddess Athena, supposedly for a safe journey home. The plan was set in motion. Under the direction of the master craftsman Appius, the Greeks constructed a magnificent horse, hollow on the inside. It was a marvel of engineering, its wooden planks gleaming under the sun. But its belly held a dark secret. Odysseus, along with a select group of Greece's finest soldiers, climbed into the cramped dark space. Their mission, to be the poison inside the heart of Troy. Once the heroes were sealed inside, the rest of the Greek army did something extraordinary. They packed up their camps, boarded their ships, and sailed away. Or so it seemed. They anchored their fleet just out of sight, behind the nearby island of Tenedos, waiting in silence. They left behind one man, a cunning spy named Sinon, with a crucial role to play. When the morning sun rose, the Trojans couldn't believe their eyes. The beaches were empty. The decade-long siege was over. They poured out of the city gates, celebrating their hard-won victory. And there it was, standing alone on the sand, the magnificent wooden horse. Awestruck, they gathered around it, debating its purpose. Just then Sinon, pretending to be a deserter, was discovered. He spun a masterful tale of woe, claiming he had escaped being sacrificed by the Greeks. He told the Trojans that the horse was an offering to Athena. He said the Greeks made it so large specifically so the Trojans could bring it into their city. If they did, he claimed, the favor of the gods would shift, and Troy would become truly unconquerable. Not everyone was convinced. The priest Laocoon frantically warned them, "I fear the Greeks, even when they bear gifts." In a fit of prophetic rage, he hurled his spear at the horse's side, and the sound of rattling armor echoed from within. But at that moment, a horrifying omen appeared. 2 giant sea serpents rose from the waves, slithered onto the shore, and devoured Laocoon and his 2 sons. The horrified Trojans saw this not as a warning, but as a sign of the gods' anger at Laocoon for desecrating a holy offering. The debate was over. Fate, it seemed, had made its decision. Ignoring the final desperate pleas of the prophetess Cassandra, whose curse was never to be believed, the Trojans celebrated. They tore down a section of their own impenetrable walls to accommodate the giant gift and rolled the wooden horse into the heart of their city. That night, Troy was consumed by celebration. Wine flowed freely, and the city, after 10 long years of fear, finally slept in what they believed was peace. Under the cover of darkness, while the city slumbered, Sinon crept to the horse and unlatched the hidden door. Odysseus and his warriors descended like ghosts into the sleeping city. They moved with deadly precision, slitting the throats of the sentries and racing to the city gates. They threw them open, signaling to the Greek fleet, which had sailed back under the cloak of night. The entire Greek army swarmed into the unsuspecting city. The Trojans, roused from their drunken sleep, were met not with dreams of peace, but with the cold, hard steel of Greek swords. What followed was not a battle, but a massacre. The city that had stood defiant for 10 years fell in a single night of fire and slaughter. The deception was complete. The intelligence of one man had accomplished what the strength of an entire army could not. The story of the Trojan horse serves as an eternal reminder that the greatest walls can be brought down from within, and that sometimes the most dangerous weapon is an idea. The fall of Troy is a timeless epic of human ingenuity, betrayal, and the tragic nature of destiny. It teaches us that victory doesn't always belong to the strongest, but often to the smartest. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey back in time. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tales from history and mythology. See you next time.